Elvedin was 10 years old when a sniper shot him here. Since October 1992, he has lived with the same question: who fired at him and at hundreds of other children during the siege of Sarajevo?
Sva djeca su pobjegla, razbježala su se, ali ja sam bio pogođen. To je trajalo otprilike nekih možda 20 minuta gdje on vidio da sam ja pogođen i gdje je pokušavao i dalje da me dokrajči, da me ubije, znači ciljano. To se vidi, znači, evo vidite gore odakle je to bilo.
A neighbor and witness put him in a car.
Ja se okrenem, dijete na zadnjem sjedištu, leži svoje krvavo, stomak, da kažem, rasporen, sve se vidi krv po sjedištu. Ja zaturiram auto i pod punim gasom pođem prema bolnice. Dijete je jaukalo, bilo je pri svijesti, ne znam koliko je imalo, 10 godina. Rasumi se zadnja šopšajba, pogodi me.
From this rock, Bosnian Serb army snipers terrorized civilians. None have been prosecuted. During the 4-year siege of the Bosnian capital, more than 1,600 children were killed. International court verdicts and data from victims' groups show that 1 in 10 deaths was caused by sniper fire.
Volio bi da ga vidim samo i volio bi samo eto da sa njim da popijem kafu, da mu kažem svaka mu čast u životu. Kad je uspio da pogodi dijete od 3 godine.
Sniper killings during the Bosnian War drew global attention again in early November, when Italian media reported that the Milan prosecutor had launched an investigation into weekend snipers. It followed a legal complaint by writer and journalist Ezio Gavazzeni, alleging that foreigners paid large sums to shoot civilians in the besieged city, mostly for fun. Gavazzeni declined to speak to RFERL about the investigation. A retired Bosnian army officer, Edin Subašić, says reports about a safari hunting people first emerged after the arrest of a volunteer from Serbia on the Sarajevo front line in 1993. Foreigners paid to shoot, unlike mercenaries, who were paid to shoot, he says.
To je bio jedan novi fenomen i obzirom na činjenicu da su oni bili iz Italije, mi smo upoznali obavještajne službe Italije koje su bile tada u sastavu UNPROFOR-a u Sarajevu. Dali smo im podatke i tražili da se taj slučaj istraži i vrlo brzo, otprilike negdje početkom 1994. dobili smo odgovor da je pronađeno mjesto u Italiji odakle sve to kreće, odakle se organizira i da je intervencijom italijanskih vlasti to prekinuto.
Italian intelligence agencies, the Milan prosecutor's office and the Italian embassy in Sarajevo did not respond to RFERL inquiries about why the alleged organizers and participants were not investigated and prosecuted at the time. According to Gavazzeni's reports, these tourist snipers would meet in Trieste and travel to the hills above Sarajevo via Belgrade. Trieste Airport says it no longer has flight records from the 90s, as data is only kept for 2 years. The term safari, describing foreigners who shot civilians for sport, popped up again in 2003 during testimony at the Hague Tribunal by protected witness C-017 in the war crimes trial of Serbian President Slobodan Milošević. The director of the Institute for Genocide Research in Canada claims Canadians traveled to the war zone over the weekends in question and that authorities are preparing to investigate.
Glavni tužilac Kanade će zadužiti u tužilaštvu Kanade određeni broj ljudi da izvrši istražne pripremne radnje po tom pitanju. Konsultovat će se različiti izvori, to je ustaljena praksa u Kanadi i na bazi toga će onda doći ili do podizanja optužnice ili neće doći.
German journalist Peter Kallman remembers weekend warriors who spoke German and were originally from the Balkans.
They would come down in groups right after work on a Friday night. The bus would take them through the night down to Sarajevo. They would spend 2 days on the front line and then go back at night and be back again in time for their first shift on a Monday. So they were what was commonly known as weekend Chetniks. And yes, they had weapons and they could shoot and they were willing to shoot. They asked us whether they should shoot somebody for us so I could take a good picture.
RFERL contacted several foreign journalists who had access to the hills above Sarajevo during the war, but none could confirm seeing foreigners who had paid to shoot civilians. John Jordan, an American firefighter testifying in The Hague in 2007, said he saw foreign safari killers at Serb positions above Sarajevo and heard that children and beautiful women were most sought-after trophies. Although he never saw any of them shoot, he observed how they were escorted around known sniper positions.
It was clearly obvious that the person being led by men who were familiar with the ground was completely unfamiliar with the ground, and his manner of dress and the weapons they carried led me to believe they were tourist shooters.
Florence Hartmann, a former spokesperson for the Hague Tribunal, told RFERL that they knew about this, but not how it was organized.
We have to follow up to see if it's coming to some point, because it has to be investigated. The route, who organized that?
Decades later, as the Bosnian War returns to the spotlight, Elvedin still tries to imagine the face he never saw.
Dođem jednostavno da vidim to, da doživim šta je njegov osjećaj u tom momentu. Najviše je bolio da ga mogu vidjeti ovdje. Pitao bi ga jel, o čemu je razmišljao u tom momentu dok je pucao na mene. I ne znam da li mu je žao ili mu je drago što sam od to živ, što sam preživio.
The Milan prosecutor's office is expected to present its investigation results in March 2026. If charges are filed, it would be the first criminal case dealing with sniper killings of Sarajevo civilians.